Gyaneshaya Namaha. Sharada Sharadam Bhojavadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvadasmakam Sannidhim Sannidhim Kriyat Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Namo Narasimhaya Vajradamshtraya Vajrane Vajraya Vajradehaya Namo Vajranakhaya Cha Vagarthaviva Sampraktau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro Bharati Karunapatram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudham Bharati Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vetaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidhushekhara Bharatim Shrutis Pratipurana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Let us do the Prarthana Shlokam together. Shrimate Shankararya Dhimate Dbhutashaktye Namostvadvaita Siddhanta Sthapanopattamurtaye. Okay, with that, welcome everyone. The second day, or the second day of meetings, third day of class. So quick notification before, or a quick announcement. So yesterday we had forgotten to record the class. To make up for that, I will be re-recording the explanation of the first shloka sometime this week. As soon as that is available, I will let you know. I apologize for that. But to make up for that, let us quickly go over, just quickly in a klipta form, let us go over what we talked about yesterday. So we said that this first shloka talks about the duties of the Brahmacharya and the Grahastha. So those include Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. You must study Shastra. One must study Shastra. Whether that be Veda, Ramayana, Bharata, or Puranas, or Itihasas, or Kavyas, Shastra must be studied. Tadudidam karma svanushthiyatam. So the karmas that are taught to us by Veda and Dharma Shastra, the Nitya Naimittika Kamya karmas must be done. Then, and Nishadha karmas must be avoided. Then, Tena Ishasya Vidhiyatam Apachitihi. Offer those karmas to Ishvara as Ishvararpana. Right? Apachiti we said meant puja. So offer those to Ishvara, do karma phalatyaga to Ishvara. Then kamye matistyajyatam. Then slowly relinquish performance of the kamya karmas. So only do the nitya and naimittika karmas. Only do karmas that you have to, that Veda says that you have to, and that Veda says that you have to on the given occasion. Do not do things because you have some desires. Kamye matihi tyajyatam. Relinquish your desires towards kamya karmas. Papaugha paridhuyatam. We said dhu dhatu meant to clean. So cleanse the masses of your papas, namely your bad tendencies, etc. Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam. Understand the flaws of samsara sukha. Understand the flaws of comforts of the human life. Actually, I was looking over Bhagavad Gita yesterday, and there was one line in Gita. Bhagavan says anitya masukham lokam. So the two qualifications that Bhagavan gives for samsara are: A, it is anitya; 2, it is asukha. It is impermanent and asukha. So if you have something that causes you happiness, right, sukha and samsara, it will either not be permanent or it will morph into something that is not happiness. So anityam asukham. So that is the dosha, the flaws of samsara sukha that we need to truly understand and internalize. Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam. You must strengthen your desire to know Atma. This is called mumukshutva. So moktum ichha, the desire to attain moksha, is called mumuksha. A mumukshu is someone that desires moksha. Yaha moktum, so atmanam moktum ichhati. So mochayitam ichhati. So that is a mumukshu. So mokshatva is one very important qualification for a sadhaka. So atmecha vyavasiyatam. So this is all the duties of a brahmacharya and a grahastha. These doing karmas, how to do karmas, all of this are the duties of brahmacharis and mainly grahasthas. And then once you have attained the tivratara vairagya that we have talked about, right? We said that there are different grades of vairagya, of dispassion. Once you have attained a very great vairagya, once you have fulfilled your duties to your family, once you have attained the permission of your guru, then nijagrahat purnam vinirgamyatam. You can leave your house behind to become a vanaprastha. Okay, so thus far we have gone. Then we come to the second shloka. Lassi, are you there?
Yeah.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam.
Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam.
Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam. Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam.
Sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam.
Shantyadif parichiyatam.
Shantyadif parichiyatam. Shantyadif parichiyatam.
Dridhataram. So this dridhataram actually goes with Shantyadif parichiyatam in some readings. In some readings they take the dridhataram with karmashu santyajyatam. Dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam.
दृढतरं कर्माशु संत्यज्यताम्. दृढतरं कर्माशु संत्यज्यताम्.
Shantyadif parichiyatam. Dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam.
शान्त्यादिः परिचीयताम्. दृढतरं कर्माशु संत्यज्यताम्. शान्त्यादिः परिचीयताम्. दृढतरं कर्माशु संत्यज्यताम्.
Sadvidvanupasevyatam.
सद्विद्वानुपसेव्यताम्. सद्विद्वानुपसेव्यताम्.
Pratidinam tatpadukasevyatam.
प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम्. प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम्.
Sadvidvanupasevyatam. So there is a script change here, as I'm sure some of you have noticed. That is because I very unexpectedly had a conversation with my guru last night, with my Tarka guru, and he actually very randomly brought it up. So I figured we should implement that change in class. I will talk about it when we get to that part of the meaning. Sadvidvanupasevyatam. Pratidinam tatpadukasevyatam.
सद्विद्वानुपसेव्यताम्. प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम्. सद्विद्वानुपसेव्यताम्. प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम्.
ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्.
ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्. ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्.
श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्.
श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्. श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्.
ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्. श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्.
ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्. श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्. ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम्. श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्.
The whole shloka.
संगस्सत्सु विधीयताम्. भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम्. शान्त्यादिः परिचीयताम्. दृढतरं कर्माशु संत्यज्यताम्. सद्विद्वानुपसेव्यतां प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यतां ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमध्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्.
So as we did in last class, I will give you the short version of the meaning and then we will go into a more detailed discussion. Sangaha satsu vidhiyatam. So place your company or attain company of the good. Keep the company of virtuous people. Bhagavato bhaktihi dridhadhiyatam. So firmly establish bhakti towards Bhagavan. Shantyadihi parichiyatam. Collect, gain, amass the Shantyadi gunas. What those qualities are, we will talk about. But Shanti and such gunas must be collected. Dridhataram. So this dridhataram can mean firmly, collect those qualities, or also dridhataram karma ashu santyajyatam. Karma is a nakaranta napunsaka shabda. So karma, karmani, karmani, which is why karma, ashu. Those are two different words. Ashu means quickly, immediately. Karma, santyajyatam. You must renounce all karma. Sadvidvan upasevyatam. So this sevate means to serve. Upasevate means to go close to, or to approach. Sadvidvan upasevyatam. Approach a realized soul, not just a learned man, but a realized soul. Pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam. Save that acharya's padukas every day. Brahmaikaksharam arthyatam. Brahma ekaksharam arthyatam. Desire for or ask for Brahma, which is ekakshara. We'll talk about the possible interpretations of that as we talk about it. Shruti shiro vakyam samakarnyatam. Properly do shravana. Listen to the words of the Upanishads. Listen to the statements of the Upanishads. So in a nutshell, this is the meaning of these. So now let us pick up from where we left yesterday. So now the sadhaka has set off. He is now in the forest. He is away from the trials and tribulations of a family life. So he can focus his entire time in sadhana. So now what is this vanaprastha's duty is what we are looking at right now. And then we will of course apply this to ourselves as well, because this is not just for vanaprasthas. It's just that this is the classic sequence of how one progresses through the ashramas in the ideal ashrama vyavastha. And then of course all of these can be applied to ourselves as well. We'll talk about that as well. So when you are in the aranyas, sangaha satsu vidhiyatam. Spend your time with virtuous men. Spend your time with those people who will help you with your sadhana. Because here the Vyakyakara writes, see, you have just gotten that tivra vairagya and you have left everything behind. If you surround yourselves with people who still have desire towards worldly things, there is a chance that might chip away at your vairagya. Because your wholehearted desire to know Brahman, to know Atman, will only remain untouched as long as some other desire does not cloud it. So if you spend time with people who have those desires, there is a chance that they might pull you back under. They might pull you back into the desires of samsara. So make sure that you spend your time with people who do Bhagavat Chintana or Atma Chintana or Atma Vivechana, which is why Bhagavan says, Macchittaha, Madgata Pranaha, Bodhayantah Parasparam, Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanticha Ramanticha, Bhagavan says. Right? The Ramanticha is an Arsha prayer. It should be Ramantecha. But Ramanticha, Vyasa Maharshi said, we cannot question them. But in that shloka, wherever in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna usually says mat, wherever asmat shabda is used, where aham, mam, me, mai, mat, maya, all of that usually means Ishvara, Atman, Brahman, not just the Devaki Putra. So if we take that, Macchittaha, always placing their mind upon Atman, Madgata Pranaha, placing their lives in Atman. So placing their, when you say that is my life, their passion, their desire, all of that is placed towards Atma Vichara. Bodhayantah Parasparam, that is the part that we need. So those bhaktas, those jnanis, not only are focusing their own efforts and their own focus towards Atman, but they're bodhayantah parasparam. They teach each other about it. They discuss with each other about it. They talk about it. They try to understand various aspects of it with each other. right? So that paraspara bodhana, bodhayantah parasparam, is what is to be taken from this. Kathayantascha mam nityam, always speaking of Atman, tushyanti cha ramanti cha, they find happiness in that. So that is the sangasatsu vidhiyatam. Then bhagavato bhakti dridhadhiyatam. So we must, that sadhaka must then strengthen his bhakti towards Bhagavan. Because, see, what did we get yesterday? Tera ishasya vidhiyatam apachitihi. When you are doing karmas, you can offer those karma phalas to Ishvara. Right? If you have a karma to do, you can say, okay, I have done whatever puja today. This puja phalam Krishna arpanamastu. You can do that. If you are in the forest and you are not doing all these kamya karmas and whatnot, then who are you? There is that one aspect of at least offering the nitya naimittika karmas to Bhagavan. But also, there needs to be a separate track of Bhagavad Upasana done as well. So this is why I did not talk about Upasana in detail yesterday, but it is meet to talk about it here. Upasana is twofold. You have the Dvaita Upasana and Advaita Upasana, and both must be done. So in the Dvaita Upasana, the Bhakta is separate from the Upasaka, is separate from the entity he is worshipping. So namely, he is a limited being with limited powers, limited knowledge, limited capabilities, that is doing aradhana of a being that is much greater than himself, that is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, etc. Sarvagya, Sarvashaktimat, Sarvagata, etc. This is the Dvaita Bhakti. And then as your sadhana increases and as your Vedanta sadhana also increases, so namely as your Upasana starts to become more intense, and as your Vedanta study also becomes more intense, as your philosophical understanding also becomes more profound, you must eventually shift into Advaita Upasana, which is the understanding, for example, of Devi, that Dhyana Dhyatra Dhyeya Rupa, right? We see this name in Lalita Sahasranama. So she is Dhyana, she is the process of meditation. Dhyatra, she is the person that does Dhyana. Dhyeya, she is the object of meditation as well, right? So you change from the Dhyata doing Dhyana of a Dhyeya. So the Upasaka doing Upasana of some Upasya, right? So the Bhakta doing meditation of some deity, of some devata, that needs to become a state in which all three of these are one. It is understood that the Upasaka and the Upasya, the person doing the Upasana and the object of Upasana are one, right? So basically what Upasana is it is a gateway to doing Mahavakya Vichara. So those two Mahavakyas that we have, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, right? So in those you have two things. We'll talk about this more tomorrow, where you get the Vakyarthascha Vicharyatam. But generally in these Mahavakyas, you will have two parts. One will talk about Brahman, one will talk about the Jiva, and then you will have something that will unite these two. So as you seek to know Brahman, you try to attack that from various aspects. So you can take it, you can do an internal search from Brahman, you can do an external search from Brahman, you can do a universal search from Brahman, you can search for Brahman in the macrocosm, you can search for Brahman in the microcosm. There are various ways to do it, right? So you can, for example, what I mean by that is, you can meditate upon Bhagavan as the Antaryami. So namely, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati, that Ishvara that is within the Hridaya of all beings and drives their minds. You can meditate upon Ishvara in that way. Or you can meditate upon Ishvara in, for example, you have the Ashtamurti Upasana of Shiva, right? Shiva as the Panchabhuta, Surya, Chandra, and the Jiva. That is a macrocosm, right? That is a more massive outlook of Brahman. So this entire world is Ishvara. The cause of this entire world is Ishvara. So you can attack that understanding of Ishvara, of Brahman, in those ways. So what Upasana does is, it is another way for us to do that. We are given a Devata, which is Ishvara, which is Brahman, and we are told to meditate upon that. So that constant focus of dhyana, it gives you something to focus on. And as we said yesterday, it will also give you the anugraha of the Devata. Because while we have human effort, right, we do not know what vignas are there in the way. Which is why, in every single Tarka Grantha, they will have Mangalacharan in the beginning, right? Nidhai Hridi Vishvesham, Tasmai Krishnaya Namaha. They will definitely do some Mangalacharan in the beginning of all Granthas. And then immediately they say, how do we know that this Namaskaram to this Devata is useful? And then they will say, because Mangalasi Samapti Janakatvat. Because this Namaskara to the Devatas will remove Vignas, right? And then actually in the end, the Nayayikas end up saying one very nice thing, that this Vigna Nasha is only a dwara to Samapti. So you have set about on something, you do a Mangalacharana, namely, so you pray to a Devata and you expect Siddhi, you expect, the fructification of your efforts. But what they say is actually, this Devata Namaskara does not immediately give you Siddhi. There is a Dwara in the middle. A Dwara is a means. So this Vigna Nasha is the means. So doing Namaskaram to Bhagavan removes the obstacles that you have. So now your path is clear, and then you yourself must put forth the necessary effort to go forward and actually finish this. So in Tarka, what they talk about is, so the Granthakarta, the author is writing the text. He does Mangalacharana in order to remove the obstacles that would prevent him from writing the text. And then it is his own intelligence and his own effort that then causes him to actually finish the text. So for that reason, if we apply the same maxim here, right, we need Bhagavan's effort if, we are trying to do Atma Sadhana, if we are trying to attain Jnana. So what Bhagavan will do is, he Prarthana to Bhagavan will remove the obstacles that would stop us from attaining Atma. For example, a very big one, lack of a guru. Many people say, I cannot find someone proper to teach me. That is why they say, if you cannot find a proper guru, then do redouble your efforts towards Bhagavan, who will then, the Bhagavan will show you the guru. So things like that, right? I do not have a guru, I do not have the time, or, I am still looking for my daily needs, I'm looking for food and shelter, how can I focus my efforts on this? Then you ask Bhagavan for, please make sure that my needs are taken care of so I can do Atma Sadhana. Any vignas that we have, we need to have Bhagavat Kripa, we need to have Bhagavan's grace for those to be removed, which is why Acharya is stressing that Bhagavato Bhakti Dridhadhiyatam. Make sure that your bhakti towards Bhagavan is still firm. So do that. Then Shantyadihi Parichiyatam. So now this is coming more into the Vedantic fold right now. So right now, until now, right, we have talked about the karma and the upasana that prepare the sadhaka for Vedanta, right? So until now, what karmas should we do, right? How should we do Devata upasana? How should we offer the karma phalas? What should we study? How should we study that? All of this is not Vedanta per se. This is the karma and the upasana that goes into preparing us for Vedanta. Or if not preparing us, at least that is an anga that, that bolsters our capability to understand Vedanta. So now slowly we are coming into the completely Vedantic fold. So these Shantyadif Parichiyadam refers to the Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti. So there are Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha Adhikari. For every Shastra, there is an Adhikari who is meant to study the Shastra. Right? Who is the Shastra meant for? So when we have Vedanta, we say that Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha Adhikari. The Adhikari, the ideal candidate to study Vedanta, or even properly put, the person that will derive the most benefit from studying Vedanta is someone with these four qualities, which is namely Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, Ihamutrartha Phala Bhoga Viraga, Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. So Mumukshutva we have already spoken about, right? Atmecha Vyavasiyatam. The desire for moksha is Mumukshutva. Then in the beginning, Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. Knowing what is Nitya and what is Anitya. So namely understanding that only Atman is Nitya and everything else in the Jagat is Anitya. That where is that found? So that, and then also the Ihamutrartha Phala Bhoga Viragaha. Vairagya, so dispassion towards the bhogas in this world or the next, right? So there are some pleasures in this world, and there are some pleasures that are talked about in other worlds. Chandraloka, Suryaloka, this Swargaloka, this Loka, that Loka, all of those, there are pleasures there too, right? That is why people do whatever they want to do to get Swarga. They want to get Swarga, they don't want to get Naraka. So, those sukhas are also there in the other worlds, in the Paralokas. So Vairagya towards all possible pleasures in this world and the next world. So these two combined were what we talked about when we said Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam. Understand that the sukhas of samsara come with flaws. So within that is encapsulated these two qualities of the Adhikari, which is the understanding that only Brahman is Nitya and everything else is Anitya, as well as dispassion towards all possible bhogas in this world or the next. So then we have Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, Ihamatra Artha Phala Bhoga Viraga. Then in the last one, the fourth one is Mumukshutva. The third one is actually a packet. It is a packet of 6 terms. Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti it is called. So these 6 qualities put together form the third quality of the Adhikari. So these 6 qualities are Shama, Dama, Uparama or Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhana. So what are these 6? These are the Shanti Adif Parichiyatam. This is the group. So this Shanti is Shama and Danti is Dama. So Tin is also Abhava Pratyaya. For those of you that know Vyakarana, Shama is also Abhava Pratyaya, Shamanam Shamaha, right? Or Damanam Damaha is the way that the Vyakarana Vyutpatti is taken. So Shanti Adihi is this, the Adi Pada refers to the other 5 qualities. Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. Those 6. So those are Shama is Antarindriya Nigraha. So the restraint of the inner sense organs. Dama, restraint of the outer sense organs. Uparama, and then Shanti, Shama, Dama, Uparama. Uparama is a kind of parankyam towards the bhogas of the world. So basically being not showing interest, not just vairagya, but just not having an interest towards the bhogas of the world. Then Uparati, and then Uparati is actually even more so withdrawal. So not just not liking the bhogas or not having a desire, but kind of withdrawing from the experience of the senses. Uparati. Then Titiksha. Titiksha is the Shitoshnadi Dvandva Sahishtatvam. Titiksha. So the ability to forbear the dualities of the world, hot and cold, happiness, sorrow, anger, calm. Being able to withstand the dualities of this world is Titiksha. Not being unmoved by those, right? So as soon as the heater hits 76 in the house, we have to put on the AC. As soon as it falls to 68, we have to put on the heater. If we cannot take 2-degree and 3-degree changes, how will we be able to accept changes in our life with equanimity? So therefore, Titiksha is a very important quality. Then Shraddha, we talked about this on the first day, where it is the faith in the Guru and the Shastra, in the words of the Guru and in the teachings of the Shastra. Faith in those two, unshakable faith in those two is Shraddha. Samadhana is single-minded focus, being able to focus your mind wholeheartedly, completely on one thing. Upasana helps in this too, because as you do japa, right? We do not do japa so you can keep turning the japamala and the mind can go do a production of the entire world. We do japa to focus your mind completely on one thing. And what they do in Upasana is they give that thing qualities of Atman. So by the time you're ready to switch to doing Atma Upasana, it is very easy for that switch to happen. So that Samadhana is single-minded focus. So that's Samadhana. These form the Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. These 6 qualities form the Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. So overall, the Adhikari has to have 4 qualities, 4 big qualities. Viveka, Vairagya, the Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti and Mokshutva. Of those, this Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti then contains within itself 6 more qualities to be 6 qualities to be inculcated in the sadhaka, which are Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. So to sum up, control of the inner and outer sense organs, Indriyas, then withdrawal from the experience of the senses, then forbearance of dualities, Shraddha, faith in the Guru and the Shastra, and focus, the ability to single-mindedly focus the mind on something. Shanti Adif Parichiyatam Dridhataram. So make sure that you get these qualities and make sure that they are solid, right? We don't want vairagya that goes and comes. We do not want focus that you only get on a good day. You want to be able to achieve that focus on a regular basis. That is the reason why all of these sadhanas, if you have upasana, you have to do that mantra daily. That is Shastra's niyama. You cannot, unless you are an ashaucha or you have some pratibandha, unless Shastra itself says do not do upasana in certain conditions where you have some ashaucha or something. Jata Shocha, Mrata Shocha, the Masika Dosha, whatever you have. Unless you have that, you must do upasana every day, every single day. It is not optional. And if you do not, there is a pratyavaya, there is a papa associated with that, for which we have to do japa during grahana kalas. So during grahana, when you do the sankalpa, right, you have to do you have to do a sahasra japa of all of the mantras that you have upadesha of during a grahana. So then, if you look at the sankalpa that you take, you say, Mama, mantra malinya nivrityartham is there in the sankalpa that you take. Because, of all the doshas that come from skipping upasana, that upasana is made to be a daily practice to make sure that the samadhana that we get, right, in the Shantyadi Shadgunas, the samadhana, the focus that we get is dridhataram. It needs to be firm. It should not be, I can concentrate only if no one else is talking in the house, or I can concentrate as long as I do not have something important going on that day. We should, obviously it is hard in the beginning, but the goal is to keep pushing ourselves, to keep training the mind until it comes to a point where, yes, I can focus my mind regardless of my physical surroundings, regardless of my emotional state. That is the state that we must go to, which is why Bhagavad Pada says, Dridhataram, firmly make sure that you have attained these Samadhi Shadgunas. Then, Karma Ashu Santyajyatam. So now, once you are a Paripurna Adhikari for Vedanta, right? So, because the reason why we need to be careful here is Karma Ashu Santyajyatam. So, this is saying renounce all karma. So, right, until now, Nishiddha you're not supposed to do anyway. Prayaschitta you need only for Nishiddhas, to expiate for Nishiddhas. We said Kamye Matistyajyatam, let go of the Kamya karmas, but keep doing your Nitya Naimittikas as far as you're in Brahmacharya, Grahastha, or Vanaprastha ashramas. But the second you let go of all your karmas, it means that you have entered sannyasa ashrama, which is why Advaita sannyasis do not do karma. If you see, the Dvaita and Vishishta Advaita sannyasis will keep Shikha and Yajnapavita. Because Shikha is needed for Agni karma, Yajnapavita is needed for any other Vaidika karma. But they keep doing the karma. But in the Advaitic mode, right, in the Advaitic conception of the way that these ashramas work, you must renounce karma in the final state, or at least if you take up on sannyasa ashrama, you don't have to renounce karma. If you take up on sannyasa ashrama, that necessitates the renouncement of all karmas, which is why karma asha santyajyatam. When can you take that sannyasa wherein you can let go of even your nitya naimittika karmas? Only when you have properly attained these 4 qualities of the adhikari that we have talked about, which is why Bhagavad Pada waited until all those adhikari lakshanas were covered until before he said the complete karma sannyasa can be done. So only when you have that proper dridhatara nitya nitya vastu viveka, only when you have that proper, that dridhatara vairagya, only when the shamadhi gunas are dridhatara, only when you have dridha mumukshutva, only then do you have permission either from your guru or even from an internal standpoint to do complete karma sannyasa. So that is karma asha santyajyatam. And then what do you do? Sadvidvan upasevyatam. So I will quickly, for those that few that do Vyakarana, I will quickly talk about why upasevyatam is better than upasarpyatam. Right? So you have sarpadhatu, sarpati means to approach. Sripyate means to be approached. So sadvidvan upasripyatam is a sadhu patha, which means may the sadvidvan be approached. Sadvidvan upasripyatam. You can take that. Then if you have the patha sadvidvan upasarpyatam, then you have to take sarpayati. You have to take the nijartha. You have to take the nijartha on the sarpadhatu, sripdhatu, and then if you have that nijartha, then sarpyatam will be may one be made to approach the sadvidvan. So the interpretation of that becomes a bit juggled. Not that it is sarvatmana dushta, but the interpretation there will be a bit labored. But what my guru told me yesterday actually was right after Patha. Interestingly, what he said was, we were talking about Bhagavad Pada's, his not just as a philosopher, but the angle of him as a kavi as well. There is this one alankara called yamaka, where the same letters occur again, but with a different meaning. For example, if you have something like Kandarpasya Darpa Bhangaha, like if you're talking about Shiva, Kandarpa is Manmatha, Darpa is his pride. So, or actually, there is one shloka that is talked about in Bhagavata, Brahmadijaya Samrudha Darpa Kandarpa Darpaha. So there the word Darpa is used again and again with spaces in the middle, but each time the word Darpa comes, it means something else. So in one place, the Darpa comes in the word Kandarpa, which means Manmatha. In another place, the letters Darpa come, which means pride. In that way, whenever certain letters are used again and again, but with different meanings or in different contexts, that alankara is called yamaka. So here we get that yamaka alankara with the sevyatam if this partha is taken. So sadvidvan upasevyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam. So as I said, in the second one, tatpaduka sevyatam, that sevyatam means may it be served. Right? The serving is the meaning of sevyatam there. Here upasevyatam means may he be gone to, may he be approached, may he be reached, is kind of what upasevyatam means here. So that Bhagavad Pada's, that Kavitva aspect of Bhagavad Pada will be brought out if we take this reading of it, which is why I said, we might as well just take this reading of it for this course's purposes. Now, that Vyakarana and Alankara Shastra said, Sadvidvan upasevyatam, right? Sadvidvan upasevyatam. May the Sadvidvan be served, right? Vetti iti vidvan. One who has knowledge is vidvan, with vidvas shabda. Sadvidvan. Sat Brahma. Vetti iti sadvidvan. The knower of Sat. Sat means Brahma, right? Om tat saditi nirdeshaha brahmanas trividhas kritaha is what Bhagavan says in Gita, right? Om, Tat and Sat. All three of these are names for Brahman. So if you have Sadvidvan, it means the knower of Brahman. So basically a Brahmajnani. Or if you want to take Sat to mean like Sat as in a sadhu, as in a Satpurusha, you can also take that. More appropriate to take it as Sadvidvan as Sataha Vidvan. Sataha Brahmanaha Vidvan. The knower of Brahman. May such a Brahman be approached. So what does Veda say? What is the quality of the Guru that you need to approach? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. Shrotriyam means one who is in the Veda Marga, one who is a Vaidika, one who has taken Veda as Pramana, and Brahmanishtham, one who is established in Brahman. So ideally, one who has Aparoksha Anubhuti of Brahman, one who has first-hand experience of Brahman, namely someone that is realized themselves. So that is the reason why. And this is also a very important vidhi. This is called Shravana Vidhi in Shastra. So this is actually called Gurupa Sadhana also in Shastra. The process of reaching the teacher and asking him. So you're properly supposed to go to the teacher, and then as Bhrugu says in Taittiriya Upanishad, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. You're supposed to ask, oh Bhagavan, oh revered sir, oh wise one, please, Adhihi Bhagavaha Brahma. Please teach me about Brahman. And you should not go empty-handed. You should samitpani. You should hold. Veda says samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. You should hold samit, darbha in your hand. There Bhagavad Pada writes, samit is not just darbha, but samedhayati iti samit. Guroho anandam samedhayati iti samit. One that anything that causes the Guru's happiness to increase is samit. So you should hold some Guru Dakshina or some offering to the Guru in your hand. Now we should think, if the Guru is a Brahmajnani, he has attained the utmost vairagya, right, as a prerequisite actually of doing his jnana sadhana. So then why should he be happy seeing that I have a gift in my hand? The happiness is not upon the gift, but the happiness in seeing that the Shishya is sincere and that he is willing to go through the proper process to learn about Brahman, right? So these Brahmajnanis, Bhagavad Pada writes again in Viveka Chudamani, Vasantaval Lokahitan Charantaha. Like spring, like Vasanta, these Brahmajnanis attempt to bring happiness to all around them, right? Just as when spring comes, the cold goes away, the flowers bloom, the birds return to their nests, right? Animals are in a good mood. Just with springs coming, the entire Prakriti becomes happy. In the same way, Bhagavad Pada says, these Brahmajnanis, they move in this world, engladdening all of it, bringing joy to it, uplifting it in some ways or the other, right? Jagati mavitum kalitapkritayaha vicharanti, right? Totakacharya says in Totakashtaka. So the qualities of these Brahmajnanis is they constantly are engaged in making this world better for no other reason that they wish that everyone should experience the same ananda that they do. Otherwise, why do our acharyas sit in those pithas despite being very far ahead? As per their qualities, as per their jivalakshanas, they actually should be sitting in antarmukha dhyana, not interacting with the outer world. The reason why our acharyas and pithas exist to function with the outer world is for our sakes, right? They wish that we all also be uplifted, that we also do our sadhana, that we also attain a sadgati. So for that reason, the acharya is happy seeing that the student has come and that they're willing to do this the shastric way, right? So sadvidvan upasevyatam, and you must go to a vidwan. You cannot learn from, you are not properly supposed to learn from books. I mean, if you do not have any other choice, better that. But you must go to a guru. So Bhagavad writes, doing bhashya for that Upanishad, Shastrajñapi swayam vidvan brahmanveshanam na kuryat. Although you may be well versed in shastras like Vyakarana, Tarka, Nyaya, Mimamsa, whatnot, you should still go to a guru to learn about this. The reason being, anything you learn from a book will still be secondhand, right? And the book cannot talk to you and say you are doing well or you are not doing well, or you need to look after this or not looking after this. The guru, however, being an entity that you can speak to, that can interact, that can look after you, is a much better guide and a much more safe guide for us to do sadhana for. And even then, when we choose the guru, we must make sure that it is a proper guru. So generally we are given certain benchmarks, such as that guru must have come in a parampara. A guru without a parampara is it is you do not have a guarantee that the knowledge is time tested, right? And then also you have to make sure that the guru is Vaidika, that he is an Astika, that he accepts Veda. You also have to make sure, at least these days, that the guru is telling the Shishyas to live their lives in a Vaidika Sampradaya way, because that is also a very important part of our sadhana to look after. As we have seen, if this is what Bhagavad has shown that Shastra is saying, if the guru says you do not have to do any nitya karmas, then we should probably have a doubt as to whether this is the guru that we wish to do sadhana under or not. So before choosing the guru, we must take a lot of care. Once the guru has been chosen after care, though, we must show the utmost shraddha and bhakti towards him. So sadvidvan upasevyatam. And then, for the sake of doing guru shushrusha, and also for the sake of our arrogance going away, and also for the sake of increasing love towards the guru, pratidinam tat paduka sevyatam. Make sure that you serve his padukas every day. So the padukas are not just the sandals of the guru. The padukas represent the feet of the guru. The feet are what the guru stands on, what he is rooted in, right? What the guru's grace is represented as the padas, which are envisioned in the padukas. So make sure that you serve those padukas every day. Doesn't mean that you have to go sit in front of the actual physical padukas and put flowers on them. Serve the guru every day, because there is another thing also, kind of in a more dharmic sense. Vidya should not be given for free. Vidya should not be given for free. So that is why Shastra says, Guru Shushrushaya Vidya, Pushkalena Dhanena va, Athava Vidyaya Vidya is what they say. So there are several ways of getting this Vidya. You can give a Vidya and get a Vidya. We see this in stories like, for example, in Nalacharitra, in the Nalopakhyan in Mahabharata, Rutuparna Maharaja asks for a Vidya that Nala has called Ashwahridaya. And Nala says, I cannot give this to you for free. And then Rutuparna says, so I will give you a Vidya that I have called Akshahridaya. So they make sure that there is a mutual exchange of Vidyas, and then you can learn something. So Vidyaya Vidya, you can give a Vidya to get a Vidya. Athava Pushkalena Dhanyanava, otherwise you can give some Dhana, right? Like Kautsa in Raghuvamsha, he is Guruvarthamarthi, he says, right? He comes asking, my Guru has asked for this much Guru Dakshina, I need to give that. Or Guru Shushrushaya Vidya. You will see this in Mahabharata in the case of Udanka, right? So Udanka just stays with Gautama Maharshi, just doing Guru Shushrushya, just doing seva to the Guru. So that seva to the Guru has many benefits. A, it will cleanse us in the sense that our arrogance will go away. Another benefit for us is the more love you have towards the Guru, the more carefully you will listen to that Guru's words, the more faithfully you will do what that Guru says. So at least, if assuming that Guru is a Brahmajnani, right, and that he is engaged in our welfare, then the greater love and vidheyata, the greater obedience that we have towards the Guru, the greater benefit we can get out of it, right? We generally learn better from the professors whose classes we like, right? So it is a kind of a mutual relationship there. So that all of these benefits are there in doing Guru Shushrusha. And at the very least, the Guru being a tapasvi, if he does Ashirvada, right, that will help us along our way in inculcating these good lakshanas, in removing the vignas, in making us understand things, right? Bhagavad we see in his charitra, right, that with his sankalpa itself, he removed the buddhimandya of Totakacharya. He removed the dullness of Totakacharya. So such things exist, and we hope for those things, and so we serve the Gurus. Pratidinam tat paduka sevyatam. And what should I be asking the Guru for, or what should I asking for one thing, and also what should I be looking for the Guru to teach me? Brahma eka aksharam arthyatam. Arthyate means to be sought for. Arthyatam, may it be sought. What? Brahma eka aksharam. So there are several ways of taking this. One way that they have taken this is you should seek to learn Brahman, which is eka and akshara. Brahman, which is one in nature, and akshara means undying. That which does not decay, undecaying. So you should seek to learn that Brahman, which is eka akshara. More specifically for sannyasis, pranavopadesha is very important for sannyasis, because the kevala pranava japa is vihita only for sannyasis, quite frankly, in like strict shastra. So that pranavopadesha happens when the Guru gives sannyasa diksha, when the elder sannyasi gives sannyasa diksha to the younger, the younger sannyasi. So for example, during the Shishya Svikara that happened, Mahasannidhanam Varu gave Pranavopadesha and Mahavakyopadesha to Sannidhanam Varu when he gave Acharya sannyasa. So that is what we have. Brahmaikaksharam arthitam Shruti Shiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam. Right? So this Brahma Ekaksharam arthitam. So this Brahma Ekaksharam. Omityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mamanasmaran. Right? We have in Gita. So this Ekaksharam Brahma is very commonly used to mean Brahman. And there is a whole section of Chandogya where Udgithopasana is given. So Udgith has a way that that Upanishad tells us to meditate upon Omkara. So meditate upon that Omkara as Brahman, or ask for that ask to learn that Brahman, or seek to know that Brahman which is Omkara, or seek to know that Brahman which is singular and undying and undecaying. Right? Ekam evadvitiyam Brahma neha nanasti kinchana. Brahman is one. Eva, alone. Advitiyam, without second. Na iha nanasti. There is no multiplicity. Brahman is one. Right? So these are not just the qualities of Brahman, but the prakaras that we need to have towards Brahman. So ekatva prakaraka jnana, aksharatva prakaraka jnana we need to have in understanding Brahman. So that is the Brahma ekaksharam arthyatam. We should seek to know that Brahman, and for the sake of that, Shruti Shiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam. Akarnyate means to listen, to be heard. Samakarnyatam, may it be heard. What should be heard? Shruti Shiro Vakyam. Shruti is Veda, Shiras is its head. So head is called Uttamanga, right? The topmost limb. So in that same way, Vedasya Sarvasya Brahma Pratipadakatvata Upanishadaha Uttamatvam is what the Vyakyakara wrote here. Because out of all of Veda, because it is the Upanishads that talk about Brahman, they are like the head, right? The most important part of the body. You can live without a hand or a leg, but without the head, the entire body loses life. In the same way, without the Upanishads, all of Veda, we should not say loses life, but it is incomplete without Upanishad, right? So Shruti Shiro Vakyam, namely the Vakyas, and by Vakya we should take Mahavakya here. You should do Shravana of the Mahavakyas. What are Mahavakyas? Not just Mahatcha Vakyancha Mahavakyam, like not just Mahat in terms of Parimana. Mahat Paramanavat Vakyam is not Mahavakyam. Right? It's not just a long sentence that spans 2 pages. We have plenty of those in Sanskrit. A Mahavakyam is anything that teaches Jiva Brahmaikya. Tat Tvamasi. Right? So Tat teaches about the Ishvara, Tvam teaches about the Jiva, Asi gives the Aikya. The same way Aham Brahma Asmi, Aham teaches about the Jiva, Brahma teaches about Ishvara, Asi, unity, Asmi again teaches unity. In the same way, Ayam Atma Brahma, this Ayam refers to the Jiva, Atma refers to Ishvara, Ayam Atma, this Atma is Brahma. So Brahma there, Jiva Brahmaikya is brought out. Right? In the same way, Prajnanam Brahma, the consciousness of this Jiva is Brahman. So all of these, these Mahavakyas that teach Jiva Brahma, these Vakyas that teach Jiva Brahmaikya that are found in Upanishads are called Mahavakyas. So generally we have 4 main Mahavakyas: Prajnanam Brahma from Rigveda, Aham Brahmasmi from Shukla Yajurveda. You do not get Aham Brahmasmi in Krishna Yajurveda, although you get Ahamasmi Brahma Ahamasmi in the Upanishad, you will get that. And then in Samaveda, you have in Chandogya Tattvamasi, and then Ayamatma Brahma from Atharvana Veda, which is also called Atharvangiro Veda, right? Or Angiro Veda. So these are the Mahavakyas. You should listen to these and doing Shravana of those. So Shravana means what? Shravana is not just sitting down and listening. Shravana means listening with the intent of understanding the purport, right? So you listen with the sense that what is this trying to teach us? Listening with that intent. Properly, it's Shadvidalinga Purvaka Tatparyavadharanam. Shadvidalinga Purvaka Tatparyavadharana Purvakam Shravanam is the way that Shastra says it. So there are certain markers that will tell us where our text's intent lies, the Tatparya of the text lies. So we should do Shravana with an intent of understanding, okay, so what is this text trying to teach us? What is the purport of this text? So listening with that wholeheartedness is proper Shravana. So that is the at least this shloka, this talks about the duties of the vanaprastha kam sannyasi. The third shloka will also talk about the sannyasi, and then from there on, there are general rules. Now, how does this apply to us? As I am sure, as we have talked about also, a lot of this applies to us as well, not just vanaprastha sannyasis, right? Sangha satsu vidhiyatam, keeping good company. Bhagavataha bhaktihi dridhadhiyatam, making sure we are doing upasana properly and with intent. In any of these cases, it is the intent that matters, not intent that I wish to do good, but intent in that you are continually seeking to improve yourself. You are doing it with a passion. You are doing it to improve, not just doing it, whatever Acharya said, do this much japa every day. So I have, spun the japmala that many times and walked off. Are you making an effort to improve your japa? Are you making an effort to improve the focus that you have? Are you seeing any results? Are you looking for results? Are you pushing yourself? Are you doing new things? That is what is looked for in things like this. So Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridhadhiyatam, are you doing proper upasana? Shantyadif Parichiyatam. These qualities of Shama, Dama, Uparama, control of the senses, right? Shraddha, faith in the Guru and Shastra, Samadhana, focus. These are all qualities that we should be inculcating in ourselves, right? Karmasha Santyajyatam is not applicable for us right now. We cannot let go of Nitya Naimitya karmas. This Sadvidvan Upasarpyatam, going to the Guru and serving the Guru, is something that we can do. We can very much seek a Guru, right? That is why we have all of these paramparas, all of these great acharyas that walk this earth, right? We look for all of them. We look to them for guidance. We look to them for support. We seek their refuge in learning such things about Atman. And then Brahmaikaksharam, we should also desire, to learn about Brahman in the said way. And Shrutisharo Vakyam Samakarnyatam. And there is nothing wrong with trying to, listening to pravachanas about the Upanishads, trying to seek to know the meanings of the Upanishads. That also we can put our efforts into. So these are not just for vanaprasthas and sannyasis, but things that we can and should be putting our efforts into. So that is what we can take from this shloka. Okay, so we have some time left. As I said, I am free even after 7 a.m. IST or 8:30 p.m. CST to stay, but I know there are some of you that need to leave. So let us open up the floor for questions. Okay, so first someone is asking for Vyakarana. Yes, very nice. So Srupyate is Karmani Prayoga, right? Sarpyatam is Nijanta Prayoga, right? So Nijanta means what will it? So Sarpayati means what? To make approach. Sarpyata means to be made to be approached. So then you not only have to take the Nijartha, but you also have to take a Karmanyartha along with the Nijartha, like not just the Nijartha that is put on to make the Sarpayati into Sarpyate, but you need another Karmanyartha to mean not approaching but being approached. So there is a whole, you will have to do a whole Vakyartha to understand the Shabda Vritti there. So rather than going through all of that grammatical jugglery, Upasevyatam, Upasevate means to seek out, right, or to approach or to find or to reach, and then Upasevyatam, may that Sadvidvan be reached, is the thing. So Sarpyatam will be to made to be reached, is kind of what it is. So may you be made to be reached, may the Sadvidvan be made to be reached. That is a kind of, we say eating food like this versus eating it like this, right? So that is why kind of say Upasevyatam is a easier reading of this than Upasarpyatam. But Upasarpyatam can be justified. Upasrapyatam, no problem justifying. Upasevyatam, even better, because as I explained, you will also have the kavya, the kavya aspect of it. Okay, in the question and answer, how is it possible to emulate these higher values in grahastha life while performing parihara karyas or kamyartha japa homas? So first, this comes kind of with a reduction of kamyas. Even then, Bhagavad Bhakti is not exclusive to doing these kamya karmas, right? We can always do it as offering the phalitas to Bhagavan. And furthermore, a lot of the kamya karmas that we have, right, a lot of the vratas and utsavas that we have across the year are meant to increase Bhagavad Bhakti, right? So, Ramanavami or Krishnashtami or Shivaratri or Devi Navaratri or Sharannavaratri or, Vasanta Navaratri or all of these things that we have, Ganesha Chaturthi, all of these observances that we have, all of these kamya karmas that we do are intended towards inculcating these things in us, right? And then we have these vratas like Ekadashi, where titiksha, can you withstand hunger for a day? Can you withstand hunger and thirst for a day? Things like this. So these kamya karmas, it is up to us to use them to our benefit. So these values can still be found while doing all of these, right? Control of the senses, focus of the mind. These all can no doubt be brought out while doing our daily activities as well as whatever kamya karmas that we wish to do as well. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, let us see. Participants, did anyone raise their hand? Bhushan Koparadam Mahodaya, please speak. No, sir, Velluri sir, please go ahead. Your voice is breaking.
I'm trying to some Sanskrit. Okay, I'm Sanskrit learning Mahodaya. So I'm very beginner actually. Is it possible to help with the Padacheda and then so that at least I can actually understand the
yes, certainly,
word by word, and especially
yes.
I'm interested, or at least I wanted to learn about the Krudantas actually at this point in time. That is what I'm being taught actually. So I wanted to understand that.
Sure,
please
definitely. Yes.
Okay.
So first
Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Yeah, definitely. So the Padacheda Sangaha Satsu Vidhiyatam Bhagavataha Bhaktihi Dridhadhiyatam Shantya Bhagavataha Bhaktihi Dridha Adhiyatam Shantyadihi Parichiyatam Dridhataram Karma Ashu Santyajyatam Sadvidvan Upasevyatam Pratidinam Tatpaduka Sevyatam Brahma Ekaksharam Arthyatam Shrutishirovakyam Samakarnyatam. Meaning of each word. Sangha is attachment. Satsu, Saptami Bhakti of Sat Shabda. Vidhiyatam, may it be placed in Sat. So may your attachment or your company be placed among Sat Purushas. Bhagavataha Bhakti. Bhakti, you asked for a Kridanta, right? Bhakti is a Ktinanta. So Bhaj Dhatu. Ktinanta gives you Bhavartha. So Bhaktihi. So Bhaj means to, Bhajate means to seek refuge in something or to reach something. Bhakti. So the nature of seeking refuge in something. Bhaktihi Dridha. So Dridha Bhaktihi Bhagavataha Adhiyatam. May you place firm bhakti within Bhagavan. Shantyadi, again, Shanti Danti also are the same Kridantas. Parichiyatam, may they be collected. Dridhataram, firmly. That is a Kriya Visheshana. Napunsakavat bhavanti, right? Kriya Visheshana Napunsakavat bhavanti. Kriya Visheshana Napunsakavat bhavanti. Karma is a Napunsakalinga. Ashu, again Kriya Visheshana, quickly. Santyajyatam, may it be renounced. Sadvidwan, the knower of Sat, may he be upasevyatam, may he be served. Pratidinam, every day. Tat padukaha, may his paduka sevyatam, may it be worshipped. Brahma eka aksharam arthyatam, may Brahma, which is eka akshara, which is singular and undecaying, be sought after. Shruti Shiro Vakyam, may the Vakyas of the Upanishads Samakarnyatam, may they be heard. So hopefully that clears up the Padachara. Yes, definitely. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yep. Okay. How to locate and identify a Sadvidwan. One of the harder things to do, because this is a search kind of that everyone has to do for themselves. But generally there are qualities of Brahmajnanis that are given, right? In Gita especially, you will find qualities there, right? Nadveshtya, Dukkheshu nadvignamanaha Sukheshu vigataspraha Vitaraga bhayakrodha Stitadhir muniruchyate Yes sarvatranam hipretya tat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti. All of these things. In Gita, at least if you look through the 12th chapter, you will find several qualities of Vijnani. In the same way, if you look at the 7th chapter, of Gita, you will find several qualities of a jnani. So Gita is probably the quickest way to look at Saddhitva qualities. Yeah, but otherwise it is faith. For example, my faith is, at least in the Shringeri Parampara, that these are acharyas that have been coming from Bhagavad Pada. So, they all hold themselves to a very high rigor. They all have, great upasana and great tapas. Their lifestyle also reflects that, right? So, I mean, knowing what they do in what time of the day, or at least hearing about it, we understand that they're dedicating their lives to whatever yoga, dhyana, tapas, shastra, dhyana, seeing that their conduct reflects that, and seeing that they come from a very respected and revered and heavy parampara. That is the reason why I kind of look to them as that. So kind of everyone needs to look for those qualities for themselves in someone that they would look up to as a guru. The 6 qualities, it is not kshama, it is shama, dama, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana. So shama is antarindriya nigraha, restraint of the inner organs. Dama, restraint of the outer organs. Uparama, withdrawal from the sense pleasures. Titiksha, forbearance of dualities. Shraddha, faith in the Guru and Shastra. Shraddha, samadhana, single-minded focus. So these are the 6 qualities that are called Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, which form 1 out of the 4 qualities that are needed for the proper adhikari of Vedanta. Yes, I will apply these slides with Upasevyatam. Yes, definitely that will be done today. And then let us see. Bhushanji, do you have another question? Okay. I will take that as a no. Any other questions? Yes, SR Valluriji. So Shama is control of the mind, in the sense that whenever like Bhagavan says in Gita, right? Yato nishcharati manashchanchalam astiram tato niyamyetat atmanyeva vashanayat. So kind of whenever the mind strays to somewhere it should not, pulling that back is Shama. Uparati is kind of drawing away from sense pleasures in general. Right? For example, if someone used to watch movies a lot and they are not really interested in movies anymore, the desire for movies or the liking that they have for movies starts to die away. So it is that withdrawal from whatever is an external pleasure. So that is the difference between Shama and Uparati. Yeah. Sir Valluriji, I think you had a question. You had raised your hand. The Latlakara in this is it is not Latlakara. It is it is Sevyatam. So it is the optative case. So you should, right? Or for example, Saddhidvan Upasevyatam, he should be approached, right? Tat Paduka Sevyatam, the Paduka should be served. So this is kind of the Vidhi type meaning, where it'll be given, it'll be given that sense, not Lat, where it is the present tense. This is not present tense. Yeah, this is a mood. It is not a tense, at least to use the English lexicon. Yeah. Any other questions?